Hello my favorite people, as you guys saw in the community tab a few weeks or days ago, I said I wanted to come to Iceland. In fact, I don't want to just go to Iceland though, I want to go to all the Nordic countries. I want to see the world, and my next stop is Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, Norway, all those countries. And someone went ahead and told me though in the comment section that I can do it, but just be prepared to break your pockets. And I was like, what the heck? What do you mean? Apparently, the Scandinavian countries are some of the most expensive places to live, to tour, to visit, to all that. So I was like, what the heck? Why? We're gonna find out. This is the Nordic countries. Why are they so expensive? Let's get right into it. If you're new here, subscribe. DM me video over on Instagram. Check out my other channel, which just hit 100,000 subscribers. I did that. And yeah, DM me video on Instagram. Here we go. Why is Scandinavia so expensive? If I'm being honest, I'm going to assume it's because maybe it's an island, but then again, like, you have islands like the United Kingdom, the Bahamas, and those aren't too expensive, and I think it's because tourism kind of builds the economy. So are people just not visiting Scandinavia? I assume not in the winter because it's cold as shit, but let's see.
Tak. Across Scandinavia, the average price of everything from a knitted roll neck to pastries from the local bakery are some of the highest in the world.
Hold on. I didn't hear him. He said tak, like thank you. Tak. I just learned a language.
Tak. Across Scandinavia, the average price of everything from a knitted roll neck to pastries from the local bakery are some of the highest in the world.
Why? Also, let's talk about that pastry. It looks like there's like almonds on it. Obviously there's bread. And then chocolate maybe on the inside. Interesting mix.
Scandinavia is a region in Northern Europe that was historically made up of 3 kingdoms: Norway, Sweden and Denmark. They're united by their Viking heritage, but also their shared reputation as one of the most expensive regions to live and visit.
The reason I also have like I'm enamored with Scandinavia is again because of the history with the Vikings and all that the stuff. I've watched so many different shows about the history and the culture when you talk about Essex, Wessex, all that kind of stuff, and the Vikings just like not taking anyone's BS. Like they weren't afraid of anything, anyone, any confrontation. They were always just ready to go, and they kind of died with pride and held their head up high, and their faith too for all their gods. It's very inspirational, I guess you could say. Like, and I'm a Christian, so if I was alive back then, I'd probably, 1, be a slave, but 2, on the Anglo-Saxon side, but I can still respect the Vikings for their style of life. They're really interesting. Anyways, back to the expensive stuff.
As one of the most expensive regions to live and visit. Whether it's buying a car or a TV, consumers in Scandinavia pay some of the highest prices in the world.
Why do people live there then?
Groceries is costly, with all 3 countries' food and drink prices above the European average.
Oh my god.
All 3 countries also have a standard VAT rate of 25%. Amongst all the European nations, only Hungary has a higher rate. Heading to the bar is also pretty pricey. In Norway, having a beer or glass of wine will cost 2.5 times the EU average.
Now, he's just saying how everything's so expensive, but I'm wondering why. Is it just expensive to import? Are they not a part of the European Union like England? So now, like, the trade relationships are broken, so now people are taxing them to heaven? Like, why would beer be so expensive? Can you not make it? Can you, like, what's going on here? Why would it be cheaper in one country but more expensive in another country? Like, something's going on with the trade deals, I would assume.
Both Norway and Sweden have state-run monopolies on alcohol, which helps keep the prices up.
Because it's privatized. That's why it's expensive. Oh. So how we privatize our healthcare, y'all privatize your alcohol. I mean, I would rather have privatized alcohol than healthcare.
This social market model, rather than a liberal market model, like in the US, is common across Scandinavia and helps explain why the cost of living is so high. Scandinavian countries have large welfare states, with their social expenditure.
Okay, sorry to interrupt him, but you're talking about it's expensive, but look, you're in paradise. The boat's right on the coast, just everyone's chilling with their little bicycles. Look at the color scheme of the buildings. Maybe it's just because it's Europe and it's not something I'm used to, but I wouldn't mind paying a bit extra to see this and experience this. I wouldn't want to live there because I would run out of money, but like, this is just a gorgeous city or country. Even if it is a bit more expensive, like, look at that. Look at what you get for the price, though.
Scandinavian countries have large welfare states, with their social expenditures as a percentage of GDP among the highest in the world. This requires
boat
high
tour?
levels of taxation. Sweden has a top rate of personal income tax of over 60%, while Denmark's is more than 55%.
Tax on personal income. Well, I wonder what America's is. Everyone's always complaining about taxes here, so are we paying more than the 50% like the Denmark people or Danish people?
Both of which are well above the OECD average. In Denmark, if you want to buy a car, you have to pay anywhere between 85 and 150% tax.
85 to 100, that means you're paying more in tax than you paid for the value of the car. Or almost more. At that point, you might get your Michael Phelps on and get a bike. Get a bike. Oh my god. So from a Toyota Camry, here you'd pay like $4,000, right? No, over in Denmark, you would pay $8,000. For a Toyota Camry, get a bike. Or a moped or something.
On top of the cost of the vehicle. And the taxes don't stop there.
Jesus.
Let's say I want to buy
Gas.
a sweater in Denmark. I pay 300 kroner for it. But how much of that money actually goes to the vendor? Well, first there's the 25% VAT, leaving the seller with 240 kroner. The clothes shop also has to pay a minimum 22% of corporate income tax.
So it's literally all just trickling down from the very top. The VAT, the tax collectors, they take a big chunk of everything, and then it leaves the middleman like having to make a profit, which then makes the consumer have to pay more. So it literally just starts at the top. That's why everything is so expensive. I'm gonna see how much 300 krona is to US dollar. How much is 300 KR to USD? Me as an American, $35. That's not that bad, actually. Like, at Zara, bitch, you can't even find anything less than $50, so $35 for a sweater is understandable.
That means that a big portion of the money I paid for my sweater
Maybe to
goes to the Danish government.
Scandinavian people, it's
there's a
expensive.
hefty payroll tax on employees' wages, and the store still has to pay for rent, electricity, and cleaning, all of which are taxed too.
So, what's the poverty like in Scandinavia? Are there a lot of homeless people or people living below the poverty line? Is the minimum wage high, considering the cost of just living is super expensive? I would imagine it's kind of like New York City. Then again, why is New York City so expensive? A box of cereal was $11. Like, what's going on in people's mental? Why? Just why?
These taxes mean that for Scandinavian businesses to make a profit, they need to charge their consumers high prices.
Exactly.
For some companies, this has proved too much of a burden for their business model. The world's biggest furniture company, IKEA, was founded in Sweden, but has moved its headquarters to the Netherlands.
Probably way cheaper. I've been to the Netherlands, actually. I was in Utrecht and, Amsterdam. Loved it. It was beautiful. I've been around.
Through corporate restructuring, the business is now owned by a non-profit Dutch parent company, in part due to the high taxes in Sweden. But according to some experts, Scandinavia's social democrat tendencies have led to a strong social cohesion and has...
You know, when a baby's looking at you sideways, something's wrong. Shout out to Donald Trump.
...help provide political stability. This in turn has made their economy safe havens for outside investors, which is one reason why the Danish, Swedish and Norwegian currencies, called krona, are so strong. This can be tough on tourists, with the exchange rate doing them no favours.
Hey, but he just said 300 krona was $35. How that's expensive to us? For tourism? I don't know. I feel like it's just about how you go about it. Like, there's easy ways to travel and save your money. I'm a testament to that. I'm a college student, but I've been to Europe like 3 times. Come on.
If the cost of living in Scandinavia is so expensive, why then are its citizens some of the happiest in the world?
Well, let me tell you. Free healthcare, clean air, clean water. Your government is not out to screw you. So many different factors factor into that. I'm not surprised. But then again, still, if I have to pay $10 for a water bottle, that's a bit ridiculous.
In the past 5 years, Scandinavian countries have regularly topped the World Happiness Report. That's an index that measures overall life satisfaction based on different contributing factors. Some experts attribute these high satisfaction levels with Scandinavia's large welfare state, which they say ensures financial security, job security, and economic distribution.
confusing because again, didn't he just spend the entire video saying that the country is so expensive to live in, but now he's saying people in that country can afford it because there's like a system built to protect them, I guess. Job security, financial help, all that kind of stuff. Also, I did see like a story that y'all are making it where you have to like on social media you have to disclose if a video is edited or anything. So I feel like the media or lack of media, the lack of social media also plays a role into the happiness of the Swedish people or Scandinavian people. And it's pretty cool how y'all are all like sister countries, Denmark, Sweden, Norway. Not one in the same, but also not. You all have your own cultures, but you're all Scandinavian.
In return for high taxes, citizens get free state education, very cheap childcare, a functioning public transport, and a free health service.
Is it worth it? And that's what we as Americans would consider socialist. Is it worth it though? Pay more in taxes and get all this things from your government or the city to help you live. Do you get cheap rent? That would also be a bonus. I would want to pay more taxes if that just meant the betterment for everybody. Free college? Yeah.
But a large and expensive social welfare state doesn't necessarily mean the best. For example, Norway is the only Scandinavian country that ranks in the top 10 for adult education levels.
It's there, people just aren't taking advantage of it. Don't take it for granted. Just like I tell the English subscribers, don't take the NHS for granted. You know, you have all these things, these resources given to you. And yeah, you have to pay your taxes, but essentially it is kind of free still. You know, over here you have to pay privatized everything. So if it's available to you, even if you don't see it, but it's taken out of your taxes, still use it. It's there.
Amongst OECD countries. And yet Scandinavians remain happy with
Beautiful.
the status quo, living within a social
view.
corporatist economy that provides reliable economic welfare. Having a beer at the end of the day does cost a small fortune, but for people living and working in Scandinavia, high prices provide a quality of life that's worth paying for.
Yeah. So it's just basically, do you want to pay the more taxes to get all these resources, or would you rather live in America? And I think we all know the answer to that. Just kidding. I'm dogging on America, but I love it here. I mean, obviously we have a lot of things that we could take from Scandinavia. For example, the healthcare, the education, all that kind of stuff. But I think we're working towards that, and we're going to tweak it and make it American. So let me know y'all's thoughts. Did you like the video? Give it a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new here. What other content you want to see? Let me know. And check out my music channel, because we're popping over there. Anyways, bye.